Testing. Testing. I can't get the recorder. The
You didn't hear anything from Joetta? She's not getting emails. Was Joetta at our last one? Where's the
I
minutes?
think we just three of us.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just this. Okay, well, there are four of us in agendas. Agenda is the one you mailed out, right?
Yeah, it's March 25.
Um, okay, I would like to call the meeting of the Madera County Arts Authority to order and welcome our visitors this afternoon and our members to our meeting. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Thank you. Well, then let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and maybe Mr. Poitras, you can lead us today.
Yes. Right.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, God. You. Item number 3 is public comment. If members of the public can address the board on any item under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda, the board will not take any action and make no comment. Is there anybody who wishes to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to the public session. First, we have consideration of the approval of the minutes from the January 22nd meeting. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and we have a second. Any comments, considerations from the audience? Board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the board minutes are approved. Now the treasurer's report. First, we have the presentation of the Madera County Arts Authority Treasurer's Report, including the 21-22 financial statements and the independent auditor's report. I see that the auditor's company is represented here today, Mr. Poitras. So would you take over?
Certainly. We have under 4B, the treasurer's report, items 1, 2, and 3. What I'd like to do is to go through these items in reverse order and save the best for last, the independent auditor's report and the financial statements. And we will have we have a warrant in the amount $44 to Lozano Smith for their services. We also have a warrant in the amount of $6,200 payable to our auditor, Ralph McInnes, for county services. And then we also have the Madera County Authority Treasurer's Report, including the fiscal year 21 and 22 financial statements. So we've mentioned the warrants that are owed. So I'd like to look at the current financial statement, which shows a balance of $60,166.44. That includes a check that cleared in the amount of $867.57 last month. When we look at our balance sheet, it correctly has payables due in the amount of $6,244. And that would be the $6,200 owed to our auditor, and then the $44 owed to Lozano Smith. So looking at the auditor's report for the fiscal year in 6/30 of 22, there are everything is in balance, and there is the opinion on the financial statements is considered to be unconditional, which is a good thing, and no material issues. So are there any comments, questions or of our auditor who is here, Mr. McInnes?
Not for me.
Do you have any questions? Could you just review for us one more time whether we need to have the audit every year, or did we amend that? Or maybe our auditing firm knows. Can't remember.
You know what, we'll research that and get back to you at the next, Mr. Salinas will review that, well, then we'll have a report at our next meeting.
Okay. Good.
Just so we can ensure that, you have the correct information, or we have the correct information.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I'll move that we pay the two warrants that have been mentioned twice, both for the report and council services.
okay.
Is there a second to that? Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any comment? Any question? Yes.
Oh,
Oh, can you
Ralph?
come up to the mic?
Yeah, just have to come up to the mic here. It's being recorded and out in Zoom land, and so.
My only comment is that it's considered an unqualified opinion.
Oh, it's unqualified. Okay. I said unconditional.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Unqualified. Excellent. Thank you.
Would you define that for us, please?
A qualified opinion would be if there was something that was going on that wasn't necessarily enough to bring me to make an adverse opinion or anything like that. Qualified opinion would be the adverse, or saying that I didn't have enough information to make an opinion at all.
It's really the
Unqualified.
opposite. I mean, an unqualified opinion is what you want. And you go, what? You know, because a qualified sounds, hey, that's great. No, because
In this
it's
case, in accounting.
right.
So in other words, it's just simple and straightforward. It is what it seems to be.
Correct.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Unlike
No, let's
Alice
not
in
go there.
Wonderland.
Okay,
All
any
right.
other questions for the auditor while he's up? Okay, thank you very much.
So it sounds like we have action on the two warrants, and then we would need action on the financial statements and audit.
Okay. Can we do that as one motion, or should we do three separate motions? One motion, okay. So
I'll withdraw my motion, and if there's a second to withdrawing, then I'll make new motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so the new motion is that we approve the auditor's report and treasurer's report and pay for each of the two warrants, one for the auditor and one for the attorney's warrant of $44.
I'll second.
any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. City Council. Yeah, we don't have anyone from Caltrans, but that's okay. So could you give us the update on the implementation of?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm Jim Corum with the Executive Director of the Madera County Arts Council, and it's what exciting news, right? We got the project completed. It's on the sound wall, and it's providing great impact on those who drive by before they exit on 4th Street. I have just a couple of slides to go over from the event. If you wouldn't mind, Karen. Thank you. We were over at the John Wells Center. Again, this is a project that was overseen by Caltrans, Clean California, City of Madera, and Madera County Arts Council. Had a nice crowd. I'd say there were, I don't know, 50 people there. Really okay? Yeah. And the neat thing about it is the artists were there, along with this strange leprechaun that wandered in off the streets. We kind of shuffled him out in a hurry. That was actually it, Tim. And so we had the artists were all there, representing their art. And it was great to hear they all got a chance to get up in front of the group and speak, which was phenomenal and surprising. A lot of times artists will prefer to just stay in the background. But it was great seeing everybody. The mayor was there as well, and their pieces are now out on the sound wall. I was hoping to get a picture of the actual sound wall itself. I tried to take a couple of shots of it, and I got into a fender bender with Mr. Wheeland that day. Sorry about that.
It was that impact you talked about.
Yeah, no, but I'm hoping to get a picture of it from the street. It's a little tricky to do, but the pictures are all up there. They look great, and very excited when a project like this comes together. What do I have? Oh, I thought I had a final shot. I think yeah, that's it. So it's leading to other projects, and as we talked about in the last meeting, the Madera County Arts Council is happy to be a lead, a point person, a point group to help people get projects going. I just ran into Carla Estepinian on the way out of the lobby today, and she has an interesting project going on that she wants to get some art put up on a fence near a park that continues to get tagged. And so we just talked initially, and maybe we get a teaching artist with students and get that painted out so that it's not as likely to get tagged. We found that when things are, have an artistic background to them, they're less likely to get hanged or tagged with graffiti. We have a mural out in front of the Arts Council that's been in good shape. It went up, I don't know, 5 years ago. So knock on wood on that. So we're still investigating. We're talking to members of the city to find out what the standard operating procedure is once a project is confirmed, and what processes have to be gone over if something's going into the city. This particular project Carla was talking about is actually a county project, so that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Question.
It's a county project, but I bet it's in the city. I bet it's in like the south side.
I'm not sure of the details. We literally talked for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it.
which is in the county. So it's because, the District 4, it has, I don't know, maybe 60% city, but about 40% county, Parksdale, and some other outlying areas. Yeah, there could be county.
Okay.
And apparently they have a little bit of funding from the school district that would possibly help facilitate that. So,
Good.
yeah.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I love that 99 artwork, and I love the location. Like I was mentioning to one of the artists that I think the artwork location serves as foreground to two buildings behind it on the other side of the sound wall. County building, EA and probation departments, and of course the new courthouse. But I'm curious as to how the decision for sizing for that artwork was made. I've been by there 3-4 times now, and it's not safe enough to slow down to get a really good appreciation of any of those panels, much all of them. And as my eyesight deteriorates, bigger is better. So can you help me understand how the decision was made to put that art in its size?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I've heard that from a couple of different people. The expectations seem to be that the pieces were going to be larger on the wall. And when I came in to the group, the decision about the size of the pieces was already determined. So I don't know where that came from, if that's a Caltrans decision, but I think it was. But we were given those parameters as what the expectation was as far as the pieces going up on the wall. So
Well, perhaps in the future, because there are other spaces that seem to be available, the discussion could include larger
yeah,
pieces. Because I know from my participation in the design of that new courthouse with state architects and state hired construction folks, uh, there is a conversation that can take place. Part of the conversation, the new courthouse included, what should we have on the exterior, Raymond granite,
Mhm.
all four sides or three sides and zinc back? Should we have bigger elevators, transport more prisoners from the basement up through the floors to the courthouses at the time? Where should this be located? They designed stairwell from the ground floor to the second floor with this wide space on the side that curved around, which was good for kids to slide down on. And somebody finally said, oops. So they put these little, look like rock climbing modules
Mhm.
on the staircase.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
To slow that down. I'm not sure that's better, but it's certainly different. But
yeah.
the point is, the state can be, at least in my limited experience, willing to accept reasonable suggestions, change projects that think.
Good.
Yeah, if I could comment on that, what was the budget for that project? Do you remember? Or did we ever find out?
Well, I don't want to speak out of school. Seems like it was $100,000 or something. Much of that went to the artists.
Yeah, so I think, as I recall, part of that discussion was how much it was gonna cost to put the framing in. And and therefore size of the murals. They might have been working within the cost of developing a mural into the budget that they had available.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't disagree that they look a little, small-ish when you drive by
Right.
at 70 miles an hour. But that was, there were certain things that we talked about and that was, along with other discussions that was sort of already done. There were
Right.
you know,
I thought they'd be a little bigger too.
architectural renderings and things. But yeah,
There could also be more of them along.
sure.
That's all they had money for in the budget, I guess.
We have phase 2 coming, right?
What's that?
Phase 2.
Maybe. I mean, it's always easy to be an armchair critic and look at it and go, it could be this, it could be that, could be the other. On the other hand, I think it's a great start, and I think it has potential to get other people interested in other projects. And I think the system that was used here with the frames and the pieces of metal and the vinyl art is a great way to go because it's easier to install and easier to replace. So as these things start to fade, or if they do start to fade, we already have a set of replacements ready to go that are in storage at city.
So relative to that comment about we can do more, um, let us recall that our reason for starting with the mural project was to build some interest in community awareness of downtown and what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting that. The chief of police stopped me after the city council meeting when I made the presentation to say, now tell me when that when you're going to do the opening of those murals, because
Yeah.
I want to see that, because that's a major way to stop graffiti around town. And I want to be a part of that. And so that's a big message to get out from the chief of police.
And he was there.
And he was there.
Awesome.
And once we did the Hope mural, now everybody's using that as an example of look at bright, shiny downtown and what we have in terms of murals. And now with the city, the Caltrans on the freeway.
Yep.
Now there's more people talking about what we can do. People like Carla coming in and talking about where we could put another piece of art. Then I drove out Gateway and I noticed one day that the city painted over all of the graffiti at the skate park. And then 2 days later, I came back and it looked like it had all been graffitied again, to understand my understanding of art. But then when I asked the police chief, he says, no, I think what happened was they put up graffiti art because they're having a skate park jam competition kind of thing. So they actually commissioned graffiti art for the place. So the skaters would like it, but it wasn't just random graffiti. So now we have more examples in an appropriate place for that kind of artwork out there. So I think things are, developing.
Well, and I'm serious about phase two. I mean, need to look for, because I'm sure this isn't going to be the first Caltrans art type of thing. Now, I'm sure the budget has a lot to do with what's available for art rather than pavement. Hopefully pavement comes first, but when there is additional funds or funds available, we should
Yeah,
keep
that
our
was a-
eyes and ears open.
the reason that we got that grant, the mural grant, was because we got involved with the city over trying to develop a project to beautify the alley behind Yosemite, between Yosemite and Sixth Street, to try to work on that alley. And we worked with the city to try to develop that grant. And in the process of that, city decided they really didn't have enough manpower then to carry that through. But there was another grant that Caltrans also wanted to go in on with us. And that's how we got that mural project.
And Caltrans is very excited about this thing getting completed. They were over the moon about it.
And then the
Yes.
other kind of very important part of the partnership with the city, the Arts Council, and Caltrans, probably more importantly between Caltrans and the city, is that they're going to work together to get Yosemite redone. And so we want them to have good feelings about Madera and what a great place downtown could be, so that as we add things onto the grant and, in beautifying downtown, they're with us on that. And they seem to be.
Absolutely. Everybody was very pleased.
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction, and hopefully, we can just keep on going. And as soon as we get more money, because with no money, no honey.
Right.
So, and this is just the beginning. Hopefully, we can just soon we can start with another one and another one, and so on. Because we need to renew and look better. That's my concern.
Totally agree. Thanks for being there that day. It was nice of you to be there.
Yeah, I love St. Patrick's Day. A lot of things happened in that day to me.
Mr. Ye-
And I love that.
You deserved it, obviously.
He found that pot of gold.
I got our picture to take the two Irish people in town.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. We're still alive, so that's more gains. We're still alive to keep on try to do good things. That's,
Right.
that's what it counts.
So now, kind of more specifically to where we're going to go next, we've been talking about doing the Madera mural.
Mhm.
We have an owner interested, I think he's still interested, in the mural on the side of his building where you go over the railroad tracks, old Raoul's Barbershop building there. And Jim has been working with the city, trying to get some more detail about what requirements they have and how we can work with them to get policy and procedures straightened out. So if you could, nudge city people, Mr. Tackett and Mr. Rodriguez, to give Jim a call to,
Yeah, okay.
because we just need the parameters, what the.
Yeah, we
what
got
the
it.
requirements are.
We got it. The more people can get involved, the better.
Yeah.
Because more ideas.
Anyway, so that's our next one. And then
Yes.
whatever bubbles up.
How about the muralist starts the mural at around 5 or 6 o'clock on a Friday evening and then works through the weekend and finishes up on Monday? And, what's the city going to say when it's up there and everybody says, this is a beautiful mural, don't touch it? It's called ask permission, is to
Well,
request deny.
yeah. I mean, that happened with that mural that's up there of that little kid that was tragically murdered, and his picture is up there. And that was not an authorized, I know you're joking, I get your thing, but
No, but.
but
have to-
well, but I mean, that went up sort of as a crowdsourcing thing, and the artist showed up and they're like, let's paint this mural, and everybody was excited. But now the owner is sort of stuck in a place where he'd like to he'd like to do something else or paint it over and, doesn't really know how to tackle that part of it without looking like a jerk. So,
Anyway, but Jim has been trying to get a hold of the city. If there are some rules, parameters, whatever, what are they? So that we can get on with,
Yeah. because I think it would be nice if the Arts Council was at least a first stop, for somebody coming in and we can direct, because all these projects are slightly different. And I think if we had the right structure in place, we could definitely point people in the direction they need to go.
Madam Chair, do you think it would be appropriate to have a ad hoc committee, where it's not a quorum of our arts authority, but set up a meeting with city staff and Jim and so forth, and to provide some encouragement or direction from the arts authority
Well, we're,
in addition to
yes, and
setting up that
and
meeting?
we're trying to set up that meeting right.
I'd love to attend if you're.
Sure.
We'll let
Be
you know.
great.
Yeah, we're trying to get that established right now.
Mhm. Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Madam Chair, if it's okay with you, I have to head back to the Arts Council. Is that okay if I do that, or do I need to stay for the
I
rest?
know great things are happening over there. You don't want to miss them.
Do you have to stay? It's almost like, do you have punishment? You want to punish them, make them stay? No, that's
Thank you for
good.
your impact.
Thank
you,
you.
Jim. Okay, so murals are turning out to be a good thing. Item number 3 is update and direction regarding the presentation and future direction of the Madera Arts Authority video project. I'm here to tell you that I have now met with the Board of Supervisors, the City Council, the School Board, and the Arts Council, and showed the video. There was everything from no excitement to excitement as I went around to the different agencies. And what I said to them was, this was done at a point in time. The time was last summer. And now we want to look at what's gone on since then. Okay. And so I'm putting together it'll be a PowerPoint presentation that will say, here's the video, here's what we're hoping to achieve, and now here's some things that are happening. Here's some pictures that happen. Okay. So I have I've been to the county. I'll start with the county. And I'm looking for the county park, downtown courthouse park, is going to be renovated. Half of it is going to be renovated. Jorge told me that that's gone out to bid. So I'm trying to find a picture or two that shows the park and what part of it's going to get done. He said the kids park area and that. And so
Jorge sent out an email weeks ago with attachment ad looking for it.
oh, where did he send it to us? No.
He sent it to me. I wasn't looking out for you. I didn't notice who the recipients were. I just noticed that I got it,
Oh,
wrote it back and thanked him.
I don't know if I saw that or not.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Oh, if Nick didn't get it, then
Then
Right.
doesn't-
It must,
obviously it was an exclusive list of recipients.
no kidding. Man, how do I get on that list?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe you could ask Jorge if he can find that. And then I think we have pictures of the library. I've gotten a hold of Krista about I know the storyboard is up in the park and there's pictures of that. And then I know that we have tried for funding to combine the old library, the new library. Just I'm okay on that. I don't know if there's anything else that affects downtown that is that the county is.
Madam Chair, I'm not even sure if this would be applicable, but I think it was on Friday, we received a email from Congressman Duarte's office. It was for special funding projects. And there's lots of categories in there, transportation and all kinds of things. But I was talking to Nick about it this afternoon, and we have a agenda review meeting on Wednesday morning with our county staff, and we're going to be talking about that in more detail as far as what available funding, what projects, and to potentially see if there's an opportunity to submit for a project. We have until a week from Friday to submit the projects, but we'll look into that in more detail. And maybe we can talk before Wednesday morning and kind of maybe be more specific or be specific as far as what we'd like to see and if there's a category to help fund something.
Good.
I received something similar from Congressman Costa.
Yes, it's the same
Even
thing.
though
Mhm.
he doesn't
Yeah.
represent this part of it.
Right. There were some of the legislators' emails and requests went out earlier, and this one was, anyway.
But Nick, I'll send you what I got from Mr. Mendoza, and I'll send you what I got from Representative Costa too, in case there's something different.
I think they are the same. But what it does, any one of these that comes out that you start a discussion on can lead to an idea. Might not fit with this plan, but you start to flesh it out here. And then maybe some other money comes available or we start thinking about another way. So I think they're worth pursuing. I was going to bring that as an example.
Mhm.
Back, so yeah,
Absolutely.
that's great. Okay. That's what I could think of about the downtown.
Mhm.
Okay,
One other thing
Uh-huh.
is, I think it was our last meeting when Arnaldo was here and we talked about this individual from Kingsburg. I keep thinking Reedley, but Kingsburg, and to give a presentation in terms of what she did or help facilitate in terms of some revitalization. I still think it would be appropriate for us to schedule that because to me it ties into art, with what we're attempting to do or working towards. And so perhaps we could schedule that for our next meeting or the meeting after that, and get that on the agenda. And Nick could work with you to get that on there because, again, it's, there's some things that are more within somebody's bandwidth or interest level or things of that sort. So,
I thought about that after the last meeting. To me, it's appropriate for the city to have that presentation and invite us to it rather than us have the presentation. Because ultimately, it's the city that has to come up with the plan for downtown. They have to decide what it is they want that to look like and what they're going to put into making that. And so it seems to me that they should be the ones looking for the ideas. I mean, we can look at ideas all we want to and look at options all we want to, but they've got to be the drivers. That's my feeling.
yes, no, I agree. I was thinking that if we heard the presentation and were able to develop some ideas, we could have something to present and I'll use the word encourage again. I was just, no, I hear what you're saying. I was, sometimes we need a spark to get a fire going.
So this person has been invited to come and present
No,
to us?
not yet.
Yes.
We
Oh,
talked
okay.
about it,
All right, yeah, that'd be good.
but maybe you could get Rodriguez.
Who recommended first?
I think it was Nick that found him.
Right. Nick heard a presentation. In fact, Mr. Salinas, would you mind providing just a little background as far as?
Good afternoon, Nick Salinas, Chief of Staff, District 3 with Madera County. Gosh, it must have been August of 23. We attended a conference for the San Joaquin Regional Policy Council. And they recognized a few award recipients, and one of those was the Community Development Director of the City of Kingsburg, and they received an award for their downtown revitalization. And so with that, I grabbed a business card and, asked to maybe grab some of her time. And we've been trying to find the right time and place to invite Miss Holly Owen. And so that's kind of what led to the discussion here.
Did they work with other agencies?
Yeah,
That-
I have limited information, but I think they acquired a state planning grant to get it kicked off, a number of consultants, and it's pretty much the scope of what I'm aware of this far.
I was just thinking our organization, we are a JPA and made up of the county, the school district, as well as the city. And I think if we, again, apply some encouragement and keep on it, we can uh, make it like a why not rather than a how can we do this, rather than say a statement, well, we don't have the bandwidth. It's like, well, then how can we provide that bandwidth and create that bandwidth? And why would we not want to move forward? And I'm not saying that we can, it's an exact replica of what action we need to take, but it could give us some ideas and some much needed insight. So, but I understand it's something that I guess I'm just looking for an avenue to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and so am I, and I'm taking pictures of everywhere I go, but, and, but it would, I think it's gonna be best if we can get the city to take the lead on it and invite us, because we're all part of this desire. But to get them, because I felt like, at least at the last meeting, that I heard about streetscape, but I didn't hear anything about a vision for the future when it's done. What businesses we're attracting, that. So I think there's a lot of room for discussion about that. And
January, I brought that up when Mr. Rodriguez was here. It's great that the taxpayers are spending upwards of $20 million to transform Yosemite Avenue and all sorts of great things. But once we drive for a few blocks on revitalized roadway, where do we stop and why? And it might be easier for some of us as local residents to find a reason to go to this place and that place, but what is there now is not necessarily an invitation to go downtown, even if the street looks nice and is easier to navigate or easier to park. And there are murals on the walls and the alleys. What are the local building owners, business owners willing to do? And what is there about downtown Madera that will, after it's revitalized the street, but not necessarily the street up, what is it from other people in the valley to bring to Madera? And I asked him because I agree with you. It's an answer that needs to come from the city. Although since we're talking about county, on this side of Yosemite Avenue, improving the park and improving library, and then hopefully improving either through its continued ownership or by selling to an interested party the old building and the 4 acres, 3.5 acres, 209 of West Yosemite. That's a county related issue, but generally speaking, with Yosemite being improved by the state with direction from the city, it's basically a city issue. What is the city going to do, if anything, to encourage property owners to bring downtown Madera into the 21st century? And I say that as somebody who has visited downtown and shopped downtown for 45 years and continue to do so, and want to continue to do so. So what is the city going to do? And I think don't we have a 2025 project that is, was it 2025?
2025.
Isn't that kind of close to running out?
Yes. I brought that up when I did the presentation at the city, that I was involved in the development of the 2025 vision plan. And I'm assuming in 2025, they'll do one for 2050 and hope that they would speed it up a little longer, a little faster, because I don't think I can make it to 2050. So, yeah, so I don't know what the city's vision is for.
Well, I know a little bit about it, but it's, the money, uh, it's going all the way from the, Pecan 13, all the way north, connect to Yosemite, and go east. And on the railroad track to the east, all the corners are gonna be more
Mhm.
like around it.
Yeah.
Not a square like this. So that's the main point, to verify from the railroad track all the way to the east. Because those are the oldest buildings, and to make it pretty so it can be more attractive. And we can have more restaurants, but the whole corners are gonna be rounded. The way design has been designed by uh, Caltrans. Uh, this guy. Anyway, he works for Caltrans. He's the one designing it. Right?
Uh-huh.
So I saw the design already, and the way it's gonna be pretty.
Yeah, I understand that part, and we have pictures of that part. to
Oh, you
show
got
them.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I have pictures of that part from the city already. And it's got streetscape and lighting, all that. But the question is, who's going to go there? Who are we intending to go there? Is it for people to live there? Is it for businesses to be there? For restaurants? What are we thinking about?
Well, it's
in
for
those
General
buildings?
Republic anyway, so anybody can go. Right? Unless they don't want to go. But if it's gonna be pretty, it's gonna be attractive. So that's the point.
Ah,
Can be attracted to more visitors. Anyone, from local, whatever,
uh-huh.
whoever will decide it.
Well, from my perspective, it's like getting all dressed up for the prom, but there's no dance schedule. We need to know, what else is there gonna be?
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be a lot of more restaurants. We want more business and any kind.
Sure.
And
Who, what, when,
hopefully.
where?
I think there's going to be a
Details.
few cannabis shops.
Yeah, 4 of
Oh,
them.
the
Or-
cannabis shop is gonna open up too, and they're getting ready.
Yeah.
They're getting ready. So not only that, we want any other business
Mhm.
better. So I think at one time the no white space, we can rebuild there. Somebody can be another restaurant, something. So that's the main point anyway. Anybody want to come and put a business in East Yosemite on the railroad track all the way to the east, welcome. So any kind of business.
So right now, I perceive that people think about Yosemite as it's going to have a different street design. It's going to have a median, and it's going to have some trees and some different lighting.
It's gonna be too lean. It's
And
gonna be
it's going to
trees
have
in
the
middle.
same stores and the same empty buildings that it has right now. Because really no one's attracted to starting or moving their business down it. So what's going to be the attraction for somebody who doesn't have a store there, or they want to have Starbucks or whatever downtown? How do you get people attracted to put their store there?
For the business.
That's the question.
Oh, I don't know the question, but
And I guess so the follow-up to that, Arma, is that
well, we
Does the
hope
city
that we
look
can
at-
get some more business of any kind.
yeah, and so the question
Alright.
is, did is the city looking at what other towns have done our size,
Yeah, we
and
compare
actually
with the other
attracting
cities.
the businesses?
Yeah,
So-
in the other cities, I think one is by San Diego. To make it similar to the one, the way we choose them over here for
Uh-huh.
the city
Yeah,
avenue.
right.
And they work for them over there, so hopefully they work for Madera here, so we can beautify it, and at the same time, we can attract it
Right.
to more business, so.
I mean, I can see it's going to be greater to be smaller, the smaller footprint,
Right,
more walkable, all of that kind of stuff.
right.
But who do we want to have a business down there? What are we trying to do? Are we trying to have business that will bring people in? What are we, and how do other cities attract those businesses? Fresno's having the same problem downtown. They're doing the best they can with art and streetscapes and all of that. But what's the change in restaurant, brewery, store that's going to actually bring people on?
Well, the way we were talking, we were thinking, mayor, everybody, to make it attraction so they can be more, uh, uh, to dine out, to be, having, and the way that design is made in the corners, or, sociable,
Yeah, right.
more people, so we can have, more food.
More food.
Yep, yep. Um,
Or any kind.
Madam
We
Chair,
already have to do restaurants, but they can be another 4 or 5. Could be great.
you know, it's interesting. It really takes private capital. It's
Yeah.
private capital that private individuals put at risk. And it would be interesting to hear from a Dan Riley or somebody like that, what he looks for when he looks to expand into an area. He's doing that right now, and he's got some opportunities. And there's actually a brewery in Clovis that didn't work out too well that had his name on it. He didn't own it, but it had his name on it, and it's closed down. So I mean, he's seen success stories and he's seen things that has not worked. So that would really be interesting to hear from their perspective, because if those are the kind of people we want, and what would they need to ensure that they can, put the money into it and keep things running operationally, and what would it be that would attract people at that location, and we were just, it'd be interesting to just hear their perspective.
And I know for a fact that Dan Riley is talking to the city
Mm-hmm.
because he has some ideas about what could go on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And the city does too. They own the property. And so there are some discussions.
Mm-hmm. So that would be, because those are the people that, similar, it's those business people that will be, we can wish it, but hearing it from the horse's mouth, what they would be looking for would be, quite interesting.
Well, capitalism has its value,
Mm-hmm.
and it is, he talks,
Mm-hmm.
and it require. Next question for me is: does City of Madera downtown require a theme to attract people? Some communities do. You can go down to the Swedish village of Kingsburg, or you can go to downtown that has managed over the years to coalesce from Lodi up north to Hanford and Visalia to some extent, which has its old theater, which is still open for concerts, and in that great restaurant. Or is there something else that can be manufactured? And I use that word loosely because Madera has certainly wineries, and are there opportunities downtown for a quarterly basis to have street venues, street parties with food trucks and wineries, and something else that would attract people at a specific time throughout the year, as opposed to a city theme downtown that would be attracting tourists year round? I don't know the answers to the questions. I'm throwing
Well,
that out, but there's got to be money involved, private money,
Yeah, everything take money anyway, so, well, yeah, that's the point. That's what you mentioned right now. We're hoping to have more people be attracted and come, any kind of business, anyway.
So that all is under the frame of what our job is, because our goal is to develop a cultural arts center in downtown Madera as a major draw for people to come into the city and eat and drink and hear music and have a community gathering kind of spot in a cultural arts center. That's our purpose. So if we can help the city design something that's going to get us there, that would be great. But I really think it has to come from the city to ask and to get us involved. Yes. Yes.
I like it back in the seventies when the theater was there. I used to go to theaters a
Yeah.
lot. And the theater, well, now the social security office, but that big building was kind of attraction for me. I feel that way, but they just came down and now little building, not the same as the big building was, even movies in Spanish and English, and that was a good building, but whatever happened.
It was old and run down, and so they tore it.
It should be, as soon as we get it real done, it should be a different view and should be more attraction. And we should have some different business coming up. We should.
Okay, well,
We're hoping for that. So,
so you and I are going to talk to the city,
yeah, no problem.
Okay. see what we can.
All we need is
get them to
more
take
money.
the- Okay.
As long as
Um,
we have more money, the more money we'll build.
Great. Okay, so in terms of this presentation then, I have pictures of the Yosemite Avenue design, what they're gonna do for lighting, streetscape, all of that. What we have in mural development, and then whatever I can get from the city that talks about the property at Yosemite and E Street, that whole area, because I think they have some beginning of design in that area as well. But when we go out, people are gonna wanna know what business is coming downtown. How is it gonna be up and that kind
Well, I think about the little boy in history in Yosemite.
of,
Well, the owner, well, I think we can do a different one. But they can be approved by the city and the county art authority. Because like they were saying, that one wasn't approved, right?
Right.
That was just somebody's from the community and this is made it.
Right.
So this time they can just, we're gonna erase it and we'll just prove it and do something else.
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple.
no, the business has to, the owner of that wall. Okay, good to see you, Joetta.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a 3:45
almost
meeting
4.
today too.
It's
Sorry,
4
I
o'clock.
changed it to 3. I have to write it down every month or I forget. And we're looking for, I'm ready to go out to community groups about the video and what what we have done and how we're hoping for a better future. And I'm looking for examples of, in your case, what the school district is thinking about or doing or potentially involved with in downtown that I can pop up and say, here's another thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna come up. What happens? But that's what they want to do is put the medium down. But what about, the school district is talking about having, spaces downtown for art classes, for kids, after school program and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Talking about that. We talked about that before you got here. We thought they were gonna be bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we all question about that. They're kind of small.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the way Caltrans come out with and
okay.
And we put bigger ones in between because there's big spaces.
That's where the vines are gonna be, grow greener. So. That's all the money they had apparently. Okay, good. So I'm putting that together. If you want to go out and talk to your friends and neighbors, then you'll have something you use. Hopefully that's going to go to the downtown association because I think they need to talk about what they want in downtown. And agree on it, maybe.
There will be more to come. There will. We're all
Okay.
hoping for that.
Anything else? Members, staff?
You know, I was just gonna mention, you mentioned that you showed the video and there was some showed were really excited and some were less excited. I think the ones you misinterpreted, the less excited ones, I think they were awestruck.
Oh, is that it?
So they were just awestruck into silence.
Well, and I didn't always give them an opportunity to say anything. So I just said, thank you, goodbye.
You've already been reelected. We don't need any more. Yeah.
No, I don't mean it in a negative way. I felt invited and they felt informed. I thought they all went well. I thought it was positively received. No doubt about that.
Well, it's good information, and they have to think about,
Yeah,
what
Right.
their needs are.
exactly. But that puts it out. So now we take the next steps and things are happening. Just so darn slow that, once some dirt starts moving, reinvigorate again. And the cannabis store's open and we have all that money to spend, like Fresno.
Yeah.
Boy, I shouldn't say
Right.
that. Okay, we need to talk about our next meeting date. 'Cause Karen, there was wasn't there another time when we weren't gonna meet? Or did we go through those already?
Put Joetta in charge of that committee.
The calendar committee. So we have
Don't
April,
Show up or show up late.
oh, I don't have my new list in front of me.
I think we're skipping April.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because it's not on my April calendar.
Okay. And then, in May,
I think we're skipping May.
we're skipping May because I'm not going to be here. So our next meeting would be June 24th.
Oh, it's on a Monday after my birthday.
Ah,
My birthday's on the 23rd.
oh, okay.
It's on Sunday though.
Yeah, so no meeting in April, no meeting in May,
Yeah.
and our next meeting in June
At 3:00.
at 3:00.
Thank you.
PM.
Oh, sure.
You're aware.
Uh-huh.
We removed February 26th, May 27th, and October 28th.
Okay, we did remove. That's why I had nothing from May. So our next meeting then, we'll skip April. Our next meeting will be June. June 24th.
At 3:00.
At
Yeah.
3:00 in this chamber,
Okay.
okay?
Farm out.
And so
I
I'll,
won't forget because it's the one day after my birthday.
okay. Yes,
And it's San John.
Depends how much fun you have on your birthday.
and I will have a few up.
24, that's
I'll have a
John
couple-
the Baptist. This is probably not for everybody.
So Dr. O'Kane, are we done?
We're done.
Okay.
Okay, great. It's been a pleasure. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, thank you.